viewers, let's quickly shift focus now to all the political developments that are coming in thick and fast. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. These are the headlines. From slow police response to how witnesses weren't questioned. Mega inside scoop on Khalistani terrorist Nijjar's murder reveals how the Trudeau government botched up the murder probe. As protests escalate in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Kaveri panel recommends 3,000 cusecs of water to be released to Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah urges centre to intervene. It's confirmed Ram Mandir consecration ceremony to be held in January next year. Prime Minister Modi to attend the Pran Pratishta ceremony on January 22nd. Government mulls holding 2029 polls simultaneously under One Nation, One Election formula. Law Commission to release its report soon. India clinches historic equestrian gold medal at the Asian Games, breaks 41-year-old drought. India's medal tally now rises to 14. Indian Predator drones in action for the very first time ever on television. India today gets up close and personal with the MQ-09B Sea Guardians. All right, let's take you now to the latest coming in. Lots of speculation on the list that was released by the Bharatiya Janata Party in poll-bound Madhya Pradesh. Mind you, viewers, this was the second list that was released of total 39 candidates. For now, the Bharatiya Janata Party has given out 78 names in the 230 assembly. By fielding 7 Lok Sabha members and Kailash Vijayvargiya, the party has given the message that there is an open race amongst the possible names of Chief Minister. The important thing is that till now the party has not brought forward its longest serving Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan or any other name of any other leader where the Chief Ministerial face is concerned. BJP is now focusing on creating a balance amongst its regional leaders so that in each area it can take advantage and leverage the maximum influence and experience of that leader and that caste that leader comes from. Amongst the 3 union ministers, Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar is from the Rajput caste, contesting from Dimani in Morena district, which is part of his own Lok Sabha constituency. But this time around, these 3 cabinet ministers, which includes Mr. Tomar, will fight a Vidhan Sabha election. The other cabinet minister, Prahlad Patel, he's the Minister for State for Food Processing Industries. He's been fielded from Narsinghpur, a seat held by former minister, current MLA, who also happens to be Prahlad Patel's own brother, Jalam Singh Patel. Importantly, fielding Prahlad Singh Patel, who is an OBC, BJP is clear that the thrust needs to be on the OBC vote by fielding a powerful Lodi OBC caste leader and Union Minister Prahlad Patel from Narsinghpur, the seat which is a Lodi OBC seat. The message is clear that OBC vote matters, especially in the wake, viewers, of the Congress going hammer and tongs against the BJP for refusing to honor the OBC community. Where Madhya Pradesh is concerned, 91% is Hindu population. But there's a subtext to that 91%, viewers. Out of that, 30% is OBC. And it impacts 40 to 50 seats in MP. Let's take you now to the other one, Fagan Singh Kulaste, a tribal himself. He will be contesting from his old assembly seat of Mandla. He has been fielded with a clear objective to woo the tribal vote. 4 other MPs, including Ganesh Singh. He's a 4th time MP from Satna. He will now fight a state election, will contest from Satna seat. He himself an OBC. 4-time Jabalpur MP and former state party chief Rakesh Singh will now contest from Jabalpur West seat of his Lok Sabha constituency. For the 2nd time, a Brahman woman face MP Riti Pathak will now contest from Seedhi seat. She had represented this in the Lok Sabha, but this time will fight the Vidhan Sabha election from there. What's interesting is, because let's take you back to that episode. If you remember, an aide of an MLA who was caught urinating on a poor Dalit man, Kedarnath Shukla's seat has been cut and given to Riti Pathak. Now, by fielding Satna MP, Ganesh Singh and Riti Pathak, the party is very clear. Try to strengthen its base from amongst the OBC, Kurmi and Brahman voters. Both are extremely strong in the Vindhya region, where BJP won handsomely in the year 2018. BJP's National General Secretary, Kailash Vijaywargiya, has now got the ticket from Indore 1. What happened last year? This was the constituency on which his own son represented, and there was a fair amount of resentment, especially where the BJP cadre was against Kailash Vijaywargiya's son, and all of that seemingly to be cut by representing and fielding the General Secretary himself. The party has not only fielded MPs, including union ministers now, to strengthen the party in different areas, but has also challenged them, because it's a clear challenge. If it's made one thing clear, this list, that there is no CM phase. It's going to be fought under the leadership of the Prime Minister, but the race to the CM is open to all of these 9 MPs, 3 cabinet ministers. There is also a challenge embedded in this, viewers, and that challenge is to prove the strength of these 9 MPs, of these 3 cabinet ministers in assembly elections as well. Let's now quickly shift to the Jat community leader and third-time MP from Hoshangabad seat, Uday Pratap Singh. He will now contest from Gadarwada seat of his parliamentary constituency. Additionally, the party is very clear about one clear fact. The OBC vote will matter in this particular election. Not just that, they will also want to consolidate their vote where the tribal vote is concerned. In the tribal-dominated Mahakoshal region, by fielding Union Minister Fagan Singh Kulaste. It's been a region, viewers, if you hark back to 2018, where the party didn't actually do as well, or poorly, if one might add, which includes Chindwara. Chindwara, stronghold of the Congress CM face, Kamal Nath. So lots of dynamics within unfolding where the BJP second list is concerned. I want to cut across right now to Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor, who's joining us from the newsroom. We are also going to be joined by our other our guest as well, Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst. But Rajdeep, let's cut across to you first. You know, a quick look at this list, Rajdeep. What do you make in terms of the list given by the BJP going all out in Madhya Pradesh? It's a battle of prestige for sure, where the party comes into question. If, you know, it's a term in Hindi, sare ghode khol diye Rajdeep.
Well, I think, yes, Madhya Pradesh, out of all the state elections going to polls this winter, is arguably the closest contest. Even if you look at whatever opinion polls have been done so far on these states, Madhya Pradesh throws up possibly the closest contest. Remember also, 5 years ago, it went down to the wire. The gap was just a couple of seats and a fraction of a percentage. Given, therefore, the kind of closely contested election expected in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP, by putting in these ministers and MPs in the assembly poll fray, is hoping that they will lift the morale of the cadres and will help them not just in their own constituencies, but in constituencies around them. And therefore, I think the BJP has decided to play for high stakes in Madhya Pradesh, recognizing that this is the one state that if they win, they can then build into the 2024 elections. Given the fact that they still expect to win Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh is the one that they would like to see a BJP government propelling them into an advantageous position into 2024.
So my second question, Rajdeep, you know, in the BJP's list, out of 91%, if you look at just, you know, the demography of the state of Madhya Pradesh, 91% Hindus, out of that about 30% OBCs. It's interesting how the BJP has played on the caste level. Lots of representation of the OBC there. But interesting, the 3 cabinet leaders that have been given tickets and fielded in these state elections, one representing the Rajput community, you have in the form of Mr. Tomar, Mr. Patel, they're representing the crucial OBC vote bank, and then, of course, Mr. Kulaste representing the tribal vote.
I think they've done two things. One, I think by putting in so many heavyweight leaders, some of whom are potential chief ministerial candidates, the likes of Narendra Singh Tomar, they are sending out a message that we are not putting all our eggs anymore in Shivraj Singh Chauhan's basket. I believe that the internal poll surveys have shown a substantial fatigue factor against Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's been around for almost 2 decades. So they are giving the impression that there are other contenders in the race. Plus, they have got their caste combinations on the ground, strong OBC representation among their MPs and ministers in any case. And then when you bring in tribals, Rajputs, you create a kind of caste mix which the BJP hopes will counter any impact that the Congress hopes to have amongst OBC, tribal and Dalit communities. So yes, the caste factor is important. The regional factor is also important. But I also think the BJP is sending out this message that we aren't only going into this election under the name of Shivraj Singh Chauhan. This is Narendra Modi at the top and a slew of leaders below him.
But, Rajdeep, that cuts both ways. I'm going to come right back to you because announcing and putting Narendra Modi on the ticket would also mean a win or a loss is directly correlated to the Prime Minister. But coming right back on that question, let me quickly bring in Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst who's also joining us. Mr. Tiwari, second list, now 78 of the 230 have been announced by the Bharatiya Janata Party. What do you make of it? What's your observation, sir?
Yeah, so I think that the BJP now realizes that it is going to be a seat-by-seat contest. And in a local election, Vidhan Sabha election, the role of the candidate is also very important. So we've seen in Himachal, Karnataka that the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers could not just pull the victory for the BJP. So the role of the local candidate is important. Secondly, as you mentioned, they lost heavily in Gwalior Chambal last time and in Malwa. So now they are trying to put heavyweights like Tomar and Kailash Vijayvargiya in Gwalior Chambal and Malwa. And also they did not perform very well in the Mahakaushal region, wherein they have put Rakesh Singh and one more person. And they are also trying to consolidate whatever their strength areas like Vindhi. The name of Mr. Prahlad Singh Patel is very important because he is a Lod, belongs to the OBC community. And it is also a message to Uma Bharati because Uma Bharati has been giving some statements which are not very beneficial to the BJP, that they have a leader from the Lod community also here who can be pitched against Uma Bharati in a way. So they're trying to manage the regional disparities or imbalances and also give a message that the BJP this time is fighting under a combined leadership. If you recall, last time BJP was contesting under a presidential style, Modi plus Shivraj, and Congress was contesting under a combined leadership of Kamalnath, Digvijay and Scindia. This time BJP is doing its contest under a combined leadership, whereas Congress is contesting a presidential style with Kamalnath as the CM face. The both parties have flipped their strategy going into the election, which is a seat-by-seat election. And any seat-by-seat election is not an easy election for the ruling party, because then you are also giving the message that you do not have perhaps that much trust in your own leadership or your own chief minister.
I'm going to go back to Rajdeep, but Mr. Tiwari, I'm going to come back to you because here you've also thrown the gauntlet where it comes down to sitting MPs, sitting cabinet ministers to prove their mettle in the Vidhan Sabha. And interesting, by doing so, you're cutting what could have been an open rivalry because, it's all out in the open. It's one against the other where the leadership in Madhya Pradesh of these BJP leaders comes into play. Because most of them will now focus and hopefully want to win their own seats, which we'll come right back to you, Mr. Tiwari. I want to cut across back to Rajdeep for a quick comment before we let him go. Rajdeep, with what you just said a short while ago, that ultimately it's going to be Prime Minister Modi on the ticket. But it cuts both ways, Rajdeep, doesn't it? Let's see what happened in Karnataka. Of course, the political landscape in Madhya Pradesh, very, very different. But to have the Prime Minister on the ticket and maybe not a Shivraj Singh Chauhan, it would mean a win or a loss will directly be correlated to the Prime Minister.
Look, let's be fair to Prime Minister Modi. He never balks from fighting an election. He seems to relish the idea of an election. So despite the defeat in Karnataka, I still believe that the BJP will go into this election under the name of Mr. Modi. That's already very clear. However, I think also that Madhya Pradesh is different to Karnataka in the sense that if you look at Madhya Pradesh politics over the years, the RSS has been very well entrenched in Madhya Pradesh's elections, and therefore the stakes that are much higher for the entire Sangh Parivar, and they would expect naturally the Prime Minister to be the general leading them into this battle in Madhya Pradesh, as they are doing across the states. Whether it's Rajasthan, they're not projecting Vasundhara Raje. Whether it's Madhya Pradesh, not projecting Shivraj Singh Chauhan. No one leader at the moment in Chhattisgarh or Telangana. It is the BJP's way now of even fighting state elections, project Mr. Modi and hope that his popularity at the center will rub off on the state unit.
Appreciate you joining us, Rajdeep. Let's take this question to Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, what do you reckon? To have Narendra Modi on the ticket directly in Rajasthan, of course, but especially also in a state like Madhya Pradesh, because somewhere down the line you also stem what is internal factionalism between the party where MP is concerned?
Yeah, so that is why actually, because of internal factionalism, it was believed that the taller leaders are not coming out and campaigning in support of the party. So they have put the onus on the taller leaders to contest from their elections. And it's also a test for them because now they have to campaign because they have to win their prestigious seats. It's also a test whether the MPs have the same popularity and whether they should be repeated in the Lok Sabha or not. Because if they lose in Vidhan Sabha, obviously they would not be in contention for the Lok Sabha elections. And the third and the most important point is that Rajdeep ji mentioned about the states, but the difference is that the BJP is in power in Madhya Pradesh, whereas it is in opposition in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Wherever party is in opposition, it has been projecting Modi as the super CM and has been doing fairly well. But wherever the party has been in power, the people will give the first preference to the performance of the CM. They are not going to forget that, whether Modi's name is on the ticket or not. That is why it's a very complex election, and BJP realizes this, that only Modi, because 32% people in Madhya Pradesh in 2018 voted in the name of the local candidate and only 18% in the name of the CM and the PM.
Interesting. Mr. Tiwari, before we let you go, the Congress, on the other hand, is, at least because there has to be so much that is given to political posturing, mocking the Bharatiya Janata Party for coming up with a list in terms of fielding the heavyweights. But it's smart play by the BJP. How do you see the Congress counter it?
See, the Congress campaign last time was focused on local issues and combined leadership. Their message was very clear. Waqt hai badlav ka. And they had some 3 promises: farm loan waiver, unemployment allowance, and one more which I do not recall somehow. So, but this time, by projecting Kamal Nath as the chief ministerial face, they are in a way risking moving away from local issues to a personality contest. Now we are hearing about Kamal Nath is a Hanuman Bhakt, he is a Hindutva leader, etc., etc. So what happens is that from the local issues, the focus is now on personalities, and Kamal Nath is not a mass leader. He is a good organizer, and he has been out of state politics for a long, long time. Plus, his age is also a factor, because I doubt whether Kamal Nath will be able to attract youth at such a high age. So these are some of the factors. While Kamal Nath is a strength, he brings resources and organizational skills or capabilities, is also a weakness because he's not a mass leader per se. And you are pitching not a relatively mass leader against a mass leader like Modi plus Shivraj. So that is where the catch for the Congress is. And Congress, wherever they have defeated BJP, from 2014 to 2023, they have never declared a CM face. Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh MP last time, Himachal, Karnataka this time. So this is where the quandary or the dilemma for the Congress party is.
Well, interesting play. Will only get more intriguing in days to come. But one thing is very clear. It's going to be an election campaign on steroids. Practically the entire 9 sitting MPs, 3 cabinet ministers fielded by the BJP in Madhya Pradesh. What remains to be seen is what goes down in a state like Rajasthan and, of course, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and the other states, Mizoram, of course, the 5 state elections that are going in by the end of this year. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We'll get back to more news as it filters in. And yes, let's quickly move on. The construction of the mega Ram temple in Ayodhya is in full swing, according to Temple Construction Committee chairperson The ceremony of Ayodhya Ram Temple will take place on January 22nd next year. The date has been decided. Prime Minister Modi will also participate in the Pran Pratishtha ceremony slated next year, while the temple doors to open for devotees on January 24 after the consecration of Ram idol.
22 तारीख की, क्योंकि 15 जनवरी से और 24 जनवरी तक अनुष्ठान होगा और उसी बीच में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा की बात है। पत्र लिखा गया है प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय, यदि ये कार्यालय में निश्चित हो चुका है प्रधानमंत्री के आने का कि 22 तारीख को आएंगे, तो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा 22 तारीख को ही होगी।
So mind you, it's the consecration ceremony of a temple, but the political significance of this event not quite lost. 22nd January, just about a month before the model code of conduct will set in for the 2024 general elections. What to read into politically at that. A quick break to stay with us on the other sides to the point.